Yeah.
All right, joining me now is Kurt Volker, former U.S. ambassador to NATO. So Kurt, I want to first get your take on how long does the war in Ukraine last? And if it ends, how does it end?
Okay, well, there's several pieces to this. First off, we have to remember that Russia was pushed back in its effort to try to take over all of Ukraine and exterminate Ukraine as a country. Ukraine will survive as a sovereign, independent European democracy. The next thing is that Russia is trying to consolidate control in eastern Ukraine and lob bombs at Ukrainian cities once in a while in the hopes that they can push for a ceasefire in place. Ukrainians are not going to go along with that, and they're going to insist on fighting back to retake their territory, which will be long and hard. So we have to be expecting this war to go on for quite some time.
So, Kurt, is there going to be a winner or a loser? Could peace be negotiated, or is that something that's not on Vladimir Putin's radar? It's like, I'm going to win and take nothing less.
Putin has no way back. Putin has come out and said that he's rebuilding the Russian Empire. He's taking back lands that he believes should rightfully belong to Russia. He compared himself to Peter the Great, who had a war with Sweden in the 1700s and took Finland and the Baltic states. So he is way down this road and not coming back.
He's not coming back.
So the only way here is for the Ukrainians indeed to defeat Putin in Ukraine and push the Russian forces out of their territory. And we are committed to helping them with that. I hope that our allies stick with that as well.
So obviously the rest of the world feels threatened, or much of the world feels threatened, especially Europe, by the advance of Russia. NATO has now admitted in Sweden and Finland into NATO. Is that a good plan, good strategy?
It is, and so take a few pieces of that as well. The Swedes and the Finns are strong democracies, wealthy countries. They have very capable militaries. The Finns have F-35s, F-18s. Swedes make their own fighter aircraft, the Gripen. They are very capable countries. Adding them to NATO will strengthen NATO. It'll tighten up the security in Northern Europe because now all the territory there will be integrated as part of a NATO defense planning arrangement. And it'll also give those countries the reassurance that if Russia were to attack, that all of NATO would come to their aid, something that they had concluded was now too risky. After 200 years, Sweden was a neutral country. Now they've concluded that it's no longer safe because of Putin's actions in Ukraine.
So we now hear at NATO and at the G7 that there's conversations about capping oil prices, right? But there's been a conversation that says you can't cap oil prices if you don't get agreement from Russia, China, one of the main purchasers, and India, one of the main purchasers. This is the strategy as opposed to producing more American energy. Are we actually playing into Putin's hand by trying to cap energy prices?
Well, I think that this proposal here, as creative as it is simply not going to work. Right. Oil is a commodity, can be shipped around on boats, can be traded everywhere. The Russians will all have alternatives. And they actually hold a stronger hand here than Europe. Europe needs to just stop buying Russian oil, period. And they may be able to sell it elsewhere, but they will not get the same price, and it will ultimately hurt Russia's economy if they do that. But no matter how much they try to put a price cap in place, Russia may just agree not to sell then or to sell it elsewhere.
Well, and I only have 30 seconds, but doesn't that give Russia great leverage over Europe? If they actually stop selling gas to Europe, Europe is in a tough spot, especially because they've shut down their nuclear plants and they've shut down their coal-fired plants.
Right. So the energy is the center of everything here. And like you're saying, the U.S. needs to ramp up oil and gas production. Europe needs to turn back to some forms of fuels that it has walked away from. Nuclear in particular is the cleanest way to produce electricity and heat that Europeans desperately need. They may even turn back on some coal plants temporarily in order to provide enough fuel for this winter. But we've all got to take the energy issue seriously and get off of Russian oil and gas, because all we're doing right now is funding their war.
Kurt Volker, always smart. Thanks for being with me. Appreciate it.